The year is any time past 2017. You watch a trailer for a super cool game and you think, wow, that's cool, but nothing more. However, unbeknownst to you, things are brewing online. The discourse is mounting. People begin to take notice, and then it happens. Whether it be a basement-dwelling gaming journalist or some YouTuber that practices thumbnail faces in the mirror in his free time, somebody says it. This game might be the new Destiny killer. Activision working on 10 new games, one might be a Destiny killer IP. Anthem, all hail the Destiny killer? Halo Infinite's 10-year plan could give Destiny 2 a serious run for its money. Outriders plays like Destiny, only better. Is Borderlands 3 the Destiny killer? Well, that worked out. It goes without saying that Destiny 2 is by far one of the biggest multiplayer games on the market. When it comes to longevity, relevance, and overall content, there's very few games that have it beat. The Destiny franchise is simultaneously absolutely enormous, while still being extremely fun to play, sometimes. It has a buttload of content, so many activities and game modes to try, and a very wholesome and welcoming community.
That was a lie.
Let's be real here. While it is a titan in the gaming industry, Destiny 2 is certainly flawed. Here's a quick list. It's not very approachable, it's a little bloated in areas while also dry as a desert in others, and game quality and engagement can vary widely even from month to month. With all of these vulnerabilities, you'd expect somebody or some franchise to have taken their place by now, and probably every video game journalist on planet Earth would agree with you. Here we come upon that all too infamous phrase, Destiny killers. But what even are they? And why do so many of them, well, suck? So first we have to define what a Destiny killer is, and for the sake of my sanity, I'm going to keep it simple. A Destiny killer is any game that somewhat fits the mold of online multiplayer MMO combat game that will directly cater to much of the Destiny 2 audience, therefore potentially taking a substantial portion of the player base. I know it's rough, but look, I'm trying my best to put lightning in a bottle here. Oh, wait, they already did that. I'm trying to make a Destiny 2 player happy. Regardless, many a game has been given the designation Destiny Killer, and ironically, very few have lived to tell the tale. I mean, this should be easy, right? The only thing Destiny players hate more than Destiny is Destiny 2, so this should be an easy task. Nope! There are quite a few reasons why these games don't succeed, and why, frankly, they will never succeed. Let's start with the easy one. Number 1, a lot of them just kinda stink. Look, there's no real way to sugarcoat this. Some of these games just aren't good, or more often aren't nearly what they promised. I mean, just look at Anthem. Actually, maybe we shouldn't look at Anthem, it just makes me sad. Anthem was one of the most hyped games of its time. I mean, look at it. Cool robot suits, poisonous ruined alien planets to explore, new species to shoot with awesome guns. Heck yeah, sign me up. Anthem looked like such a breath of fresh air coming off of whatever the heck Mass Effect Andromeda was. The graphics were killer, the story seemed interesting. Spoilers, it wasn't. And most importantly, it looked like it could be a serious competitor to the Destiny franchise that just recently was on the brink of extinction. However, yeah, I'd say that the landing was pretty rough. Upon release, the game was buggy, boring, and a total mess. There was like nothing to do. I mean, Destiny players are always like, wow, there's nothing to play. But when Anthem was starved, I mean, it was starved. Many stories of games similar to this exist. Sky-high expectations of a fresh new experience are met with a low-bar leg sweep of an empty cash grab. Over the course of the next several years, many players have grown callous to things that just kind of look like they could be good, so it gets harder and harder to build a Destiny killer on good ads alone. Anthem looked like it was going to be one of the best games of its time, and I mean, look at the player count nowadays. The feeling of being starved for content is definitely not unique to Anthem, however. It also leads into reasons why Destiny killers never work. Number 2, devs aren't willing to / can't put in the effort. This can be summed up fairly simply. Making a video game is hard. Wow, only riveting and original ideas on the Ace channel. Very, and I mean very, few studios can spare the manpower that it requires to develop a Destiny 2-esque game. Why? Because making games is hard. The sheer amount of content it requires to make a game that is even half of Destiny 2's size is insane. Not to mention all of it has to be constantly updated and stored on servers. Then you also have to deal with the biggest external factor of all, called humans. months. Let's go back to failure numero uno for a minute, Anthem. On the surface, game development was taking quite a long time, but otherwise seemed rather quiet to the uninformed layman. As it turns out, there was pretty much a firestorm going on in BioWare HQ, and the game got radically changed like 8 times before it even hit the beta. One of the only games that has really managed to keep up is Warframe, and it's formed its own dedicated audience because of it. It's kind of its own thing, which is exactly what these games should be seen as. While Warframe is pretty similar to Destiny 2, you'll notice that most of these games really aren't similar to Destiny 2 at all. Yep, that is exactly point number 3. Number 3, they actually aren't that similar to Destiny. A lot of these games aren't really that close to Destiny 2, and some of them aren't even in the same vein. They might be a looter shooter or a space game, maybe an MMO, but almost never all of those things. Therefore, labeling it as a Destiny killer almost preemptively kills the game. The Destiny killer term sets an unrealistic expectation that the new game coming out will somehow be better than Destiny 2. And while many Moonbrain users on Twitter.com might claim that it's easy to do, it's a whole lot harder than it looks. If a game really is going to kill Destiny, it's going to have to scratch that same itch that Destiny does and do so without straight up copying it. Very few games get close to doing this. You could say Warframe and Final Fantasy XIV, but that's pretty much where the list ends for most people. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty of copycats, but they'll die on their own accord. They don't need to be labeled Destiny killer for that. However, the term is still faulty itself, because do we really want Destiny to die? There are certain people who don't stop complaining, don't get me wrong, but simultaneously, we still play this game regardless. Number 4, Destiny players are extremely attached to Destiny 2. Destiny players don't want another Destiny. This is the ultimate killer of Destiny killers. That's why we play Destiny, for crying out loud. We want to play Destiny 2 because it's unique, not because it's like some other game. Like, yeah, the game could be better in some ways, but I want the game to be better. I don't want it to be replaced. We've sunk way too many hours into this game than is probably good for us. It's no wonder why it's hard to get us to leave the game. I haven't touched grass in weeks, and it's not bad. Bungie, while they've made their mistakes, has still built an enthralling universe that is really hard to rival. The problem with these Destiny killers is that they try to be Destiny 2. We don't need a Destiny 2 2, the Electric Boogaloo, because at this point, the only thing that's going to kill Destiny is Destiny. We should really retire the whole Destiny killer term. Not only does it place games in a box, it sets unrealistic expectations for a game that might not even be trying to meet them. Will Destiny 2 die at some point? Yeah, it will, and maybe some game will come along to do that, but trying to predict when that will happen will only cause it to loop back around to not killing Destiny. It might be a curse or just a self-fulfilling prophecy, but taking down Destiny 2 is a whole lot harder than it looks. Thank you all so much for listening to this thought piece. I know it's a little less funny than the videos I usually make. I tried to slip some jokes in there and make it a little entertaining for you guys. I'm going to continue making videos and more like in this vein and the last video's vein, where it's just either crazy stuff that I want to do or things that I want to talk about. The next video, probably that will be in this format, will be why PvP in Destiny 2 just feels like it kind of sucks. And then also I still have that big project vid that I want to do on accessibility versus difficulty, and that will once again be coming down the line. I also have a bunch of random crazy ideas that I don't want to share because it ruins the surprise, so I hope you guys stick around for that. Be sure to lick that like button and subscribe and go touch some grass. And see ya!
Your time is up.